Hello and welcome to the official Fast DV1 tutorial for LEGO Star Wars: Complete Saga. So, Fast DV1 is basically just another variation of skipping this DV1 boss fight in CCT. Here's just your normal variation, you know, your R2 hover, your R2 fly, your whatevers. Doing that, pretty cringe, kinda slow. But Fast DV1 is a faster, albeit slightly harder variation of the trick, where you just full send jump over the gap. Now, the top runners, they won't tell you to go for that trick. In fact, they will specifically tell you not to go for that trick. It's because they're scared. They're scared that they'll have to learn the trick and do it themselves when the new wave of TCS runners break through to the top 20, top 10, and just start sussing Fast DV1. So, but there are some downsides, albeit as cool as the trick is, there are some downsides. Obviously, to get through the door on the other side, you need the Stormtrooper helmet. And if you die attempting Fast DV1, you're going to lose the helmet, and you're going to have to go all the way back and get it. But with these three visual cues, you will never fail Fast DV1, and you will never have to get another helmet. So, here's the first visual cue. This nub here. There's a little nub, right? As you can see, we're on a circular platform. There's a little nub right here. Now, if you didn't know, circles aren't meant to have nubs. They aren't meant to have corners. So the devs have clearly put this here to help us do Fast DV1. So thanks for that, TD Games. But basically, you want to aim for this nub. I like to aim for it about here. Have my left leg on the nub and the rest of my body mostly to the right, because this lines you up pretty perfectly with the other platform. You can do it from the right, you can do it directly on it, whatever your preference is, that is simply mine, but no matter what, you are aiming for this area right here on this nub. Now the second visual cue is how you're going to get your jump, your edge jump, your initial jump. So I like to time this based off of this grey ring on the outside. When your back foot, it might be your right, it might be your left, it depends on where you take your run up from. Let's have a look here. So it was my right foot there, I believe. Possibly left foot there. But basically your back foot, as it touches this, you want to jump. Because your front foot will be somewhere over here, where I just died, right? Over the edge. Your back foot is what you want to react to. Because by the time you click the jump button, or whatever it is for you, you should be, like, you know, in the process of doing an edge jump. And that's just a consistent setup that I've found to get that. It may not be consistent for you, but that's just a visual cue that I've found. You can play around with this, find it yourself, but this is just a little guide on how you might find your own visual cues. Now, here's a pretty important one. This one is where you're going to make your second jump. Now, this may be the hardest visual cue, in my opinion, to spot, because it's based more on feel. But there is a distinct visual cue you can see here, in my opinion at least. Now, look at Luke's right foot, the one that's directly in front of you right there. It goes up and it comes down, but it also goes out and comes back in. Now, it coming out and in is kind of like an ice cream scoop. Kind of like that same movement. And as it comes all the way in, it's got the ice cream, it straightens out. You want to do your second jump just before Luke gets the ice cream. Just as it comes back in like a scoop would. Just like that. If you do it too early, you're not going to make it. If you do it too late, well, you're also not going to make it. So just before Luke gets the scoop there, you want to do that. Now, it can be difficult looking at where you need to aim, where you need to kick off, and then looking for the ice cream scoop. But with practice, you'll know where to put your eyes and how to do the trick. Now, I'm actually going to leave that in. That was a pretty good fail, because I had the wrong angle running through. Actually, I should have mentioned this. While the nub is an important aiming point, the angle that you run at it is actually pretty important as well. So rather than jumping towards those three dots there, I find most success when I aim just to the right of them. Just like that. because I believe it's closer to the point you're trying to jump from. So if you're failing and you're hitting those 3 dots, it's because you're aiming too far up and you need to go further to the right. Not much to the right, but just enough that you can just avoid these dots, just like I did there. Now there is a keyboard setup for this trick, which involves you coming over here with R2 to manipulate the camera so that you can just hold straight upright, you know, W and D to get your angle here. Now, I'm a controller keyboard player, but I do know there are a lot of double keyboard players out there. So I will show you what this looks like, just to show that it's possible, but it may take me a few tries. Oh, only took me 2 tries, okay. Well, there you go. That's what the trick looks like from when you're doing keyboard player 1. Oh, well, I should say when you're doing double keyboard, because I've obviously got player 2. But yeah, that's about it for the tutorial. Like, there's not much to it, just those 3 visual cues. You can obviously play around with those. They're not like solidified. They're not the only visual cues people use to get this trick. But they're definitely much more helpful than the I believe people have referred to the beat for staying alive. You know, like being the timing for the jump. It's very inconsistent unless you have the song playing on you. You know, or you have like extremely good memory, or you're a musician or whatever. But yeah, that's it for the Fast DV1 tutorial. Thank you guys. Catch you next time.